Welcome to Rate the Audits, where we put misconduct on display, explore police and legal content, protect rights and demand accountability. This episode is brought to us by AY Audits. Be sure to check the link below and subscribe to his channel and give him the credit he deserves. In this episode, AY Audits heads to a Loomis warehouse in the UK to put their respect for public filming to the test. But it doesn't take long for things to escalate. Security insists he's on private land, even though there are clear signs of public access. Rather than backing down, they call the police, hoping to have him removed. But AY Audits knows his rights, and he's not afraid to challenge both security and the officers on their understanding of the law.
Who are you?
I'm a security outside.
You're security?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So you've got an identification to tell me you're security?
Yes, of course. You can come along. Come on.
No, I'll stand there. You can go and get identification and come back. Mate, you're not ringing the police, are you? You're joking? Show me.
Hello, we have a trespasser on site. He's on private property. We are Loomis Dagenham.
Hello, mate.
You alright?
Hello, mate.
You alright?
Yeah, not too bad, yeah?
Good.
What's going on, mate? How comes you're here?
Yeah.
You're aware this is on private property?
Are you aware it's not?
It's private property, my friend.
Are you aware it's not?
There's security at the front and it's private property.
So I'm going to ask you a question again, yeah? And I just want a straight answer, not... Are you aware it's not?
I've been informed by security that it's private property.
Okay.
And it's closed off to the rest of
So
the
as a
public.
police officer, I think you need to go and investigate first of all whether it is private property.
The police arrive and immediately side with security, claiming the land is private without any independent verification. Instead of investigating, the officer simply repeats what security has told him, treating their word as fact. The auditor challenges this, pointing out that an officer's role is to establish the truth, not just rely on biased claims. Officers have a duty to assess the facts independently before enforcing any alleged trespass. The presence of security does not automatically mean land is private, as many publicly accessible areas, such as retail parks, industrial estates, and business zones, have security but still allow public access. Under Section 33 of the Criminal Justice Act, 1972, if land has implied public access, the public has a right to be there unless clear, enforceable restrictions are in place.
Come back to this
I
conversation.
have spoken to the security guard who informs me it's private property.
Okay.
Sir, can you please leave the private property?
Sir, this is not private property. Yeah?
It's private property.
Sir, this is
It's got a
private
gate which
property.
is closed off to the public.
Okay, sir. So this is private. If you say this is private property,
I'm saying it's private property.
okay. So at this moment in time, I'm trespassing.
Yes.
Is that correct?
I believe so, yes.
Yes. So is it also correct that trespassing is a civil matter?
The auditor challenges the officers with a simple legal question, asking if trespassing is a civil matter. Instead of providing a straightforward answer, the officer sighs, a clear sign of frustration, possibly realizing that the auditor knows the law better than they expected. Trespass in the UK is a civil matter, not a criminal offence, unless specific conditions are met. Under the Criminal Justice and Public Order Act 1994 Section 61, police only have powers to remove trespassers in cases involving aggravated trespass, disruption, or when a person refuses to leave after a lawful request from the landowner. Since none of those conditions apply here, the police have no authority to act on behalf of security unless another law is being broken.
Regardless of a civil matter,
no, sir.
you've been asked by
Sir.
security to leave the area.
Sir?
They don't want you
Sir.
filming here,
Sir?
so we're asking nicely
Sir.
if you can leave.
Sir? Yeah? You need to listen. Yeah?
I'm listening to you.
Can you identify yourself, please?
PC 201331 Echo Alpha.
And yourself?
PC box 1843 echo.
Okay. Are either one of you recording me at the moment?
We are recording, yes.
Okay.
We're where you're recording us as well.
Okay. So why didn't you inform me that you was recording me when you first approached me?
Because we don't have to. Sir.
You don't have to.
Everything we go to, we're recording.
Okay.
When everything police.
So it doesn't state in your policy that you have to tell a member of the public that you are recording them?
Whenever we attend a call,
Sir,
we're always recording.
just-
As you can see,
sir,
this as well.
I didn't ask you this. I just
Very
asked you a
visibly
question
recorded.
about your policies.
And I'm asking you, sir.
I know your policy.
Here's my camera.
I know your
Recording.
policy, and I also know, yeah, that in your policy, and if you want me to get it up on my phone, I can show you, because in your policy it states you should tell a member of the public that you are filming them at the earliest opportunity. Now, the earliest opportunity for you was when you both stepped out of the vehicle, because I'm not in no violence, I'm not no aggressive, I'm not committing no crimes, yeah? No criminal matters has happened here.
Under the College of Policing's body-worn video guidance, officers are required to inform individuals at the earliest opportunity that they are being recorded, unless doing so would compromise safety or an ongoing investigation. Transparency is a key principle, as BWV is intended to protect both the public and officers by ensuring accountability. Additionally, officers must comply with data protection laws, meaning all recordings must have a justified purpose and cannot be used arbitrarily or without cause. This is a clear attempt to sidestep accountability. The officer either doesn't know their own policy or is deliberately avoiding admitting they failed to follow it. Instead of being upfront, they choose to deflect, raising even more questions about their professionalism.
So, I suggest the car around and go.
We're not going anywhere, sir.
Neither am I. This is...
You're on private property, sir.
Sir.
And they're asking you to leave.
Sir, I'll ask you again one simple question. Is trespassing a criminal matter?
It's a matter where the security want you to leave the area.
Sir, you're not answering the question.
They can use their powers legally to remove you from
Well,
the
they
area.
can. Go and get him to use his powers then.
They've asked us to come down and assist.
And you can't. You're not allowed to. This is a civil matter.
Realizing their initial claim isn't holding up, the officer shifts tactics, stating that security has requested their assistance. The auditor immediately shuts this down, reminding them that they can't enforce trespass laws because this is a civil matter, not a criminal one. By attempting to intervene in what is purely a civil dispute, the officers are overstepping their authority. This moment highlights a common issue: police responding to security complaints and assuming they have the power to act without verifying whether the law actually allows them to.
Yeah, I can prove to you that this is not private property.
Okay, please.
Come here, I'll show you. Yeah. Come and show you. One quick show. Yeah. See this path?
See the path there?
Yeah, see that path? Go walk down that path. Tell me if there's any barriers on that path.
Sir, I believe
No.
No, listen to me.
You're not answering the question. You're talking nonsense, buddy.
We've listened to you.
No, I'm not listening to him, buddy. Yeah.
Seizing the opportunity, the auditor directs them toward a path and asks a simple question. Walk down that path and tell me if there are any barriers. A clear, straightforward way to determine if the land is truly private. For land to be legally considered private with enforceable restrictions, there must be clear indicators such as fences, gates, signs, or bylaws restricting public access. Under Section 33 of the Criminal Justice Act 1972, land that has implied public access, meaning it is open to the public without clear restrictions, can be legally accessed unless a valid order is in place. By refusing to verify the auditor's claim, the officer effectively admits that their enforcement is based on assumption rather than fact. This is yet another example of police siding with security without doing their own due diligence.
What's so interesting that you want to be here recording, sir?
What is so interesting that you come down here to a civil matter
We've been called.
on blue lights?
We've been called.
There's a sign right at the front of the industrial estate
Yeah.
that says private land.
Yeah.
So obviously it's private land.
Okay.
So the security guard has asked you to leave.
Yeah.
Can you?
Is it still classed as trespassing?
Yes.
Okay. So it's a civil matter? It's not a criminal
Yes,
matter?
but the security
Hold on,
guard
sir.
has asked you to
No,
leave
there's no
and
but
you're-
buts. Yeah.
No, there
This has public access. Yeah. You can walk straight in. There's so many buildings in here.
Right.
Yeah. Anybody can come in here.
Right.
Anybody's allowed here.
Instead of providing any legal basis for this, they simply repeat the same assertion, refusing to acknowledge the auditor's challenge. There are no barriers, no gates, and nothing preventing entry. Landowners can only enforce trespassing laws if the land has clear, enforceable restrictions, such as fencing, signage, or bylaws prohibiting entry. Just because a business operates on the land does not automatically make it off limits to the public. This is yet another example of police assuming private ownership means no public access, rather than understanding the legal distinction between private property and land that is accessible to the public.
It's private land. The security guard has asked you to leave, which
Everything is private land.
He has a right to do.
So he can ask me to leave and I can refuse to leave.
Right.
And unless I aggravate matters, for it to become aggravated trespass, yeah, then it becomes criminal. Only becomes criminal at that moment in time. It's not going to become criminal, yeah, because I'm not going to aggravate matters.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just.
He can come, if he wants to come and forcibly remove me, he can come and do that. Yeah. But before he does that, he needs to show me certain information.
Right.
Yeah.
So just so you're aware,
Yeah.
obviously, when I was out the front,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Private land.
yeah,
Parking restrictions, yeah? This is for parking, sir. This is not for public, yeah?
but it's
No, but sir, you can't...
okay.
Now the officer tries to be clever, attempting to reinforce his claim that the land is private. He pulls out a picture of a private land parking restriction sign, as if that somehow proves the entire area is off limits. But the auditor immediately catches him out, pointing out the obvious. This sign is about parking, not public access. A parking restriction only applies to vehicles, not pedestrians, and it does not automatically mean the land itself is restricted from public entry. Police should not rely on misleading signage to justify their claims. They need actual legal grounds to enforce restrictions. This moment exposes a common tactic, using irrelevant signs or partial information to try and justify an incorrect claim. But the auditor isn't fooled, and once again, the officer is left without a valid argument.
Hey, listen, you can take things out of context as much as you want, yeah? But you've got to look by law, yeah? And the law at the moment is not being broken.
Yeah, massively. No worries.
And you know what? If he'd have gave me the telephone number of the data handler, I'd be gone now. I wouldn't even be here. I'm only waiting for a telephone number, yeah, from this guy here. This one here. I'm only waiting for a telephone number from him, for the data handler, and I'm going. Do I have to give you my name?
At the moment, no.
There you go.
Okay.
Not under any moment I'm going to have to give you my name. Yeah?
Asking...
Yeah. You need to educate these ones, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not
So
me that you need.
friendly.
I know,
I'm
but
trying to be friendly.
I've got no problem with you, yeah. But it's these ones that you need to be educating, yeah. Because we can film anything we can see, yeah.
The auditor shifts the focus to the real issue: police allowing businesses to misuse their authority. The police were called for no reason because the warehouse staff and security don't understand the law, and instead of correcting them, the officers entertained the false complaint. Anything visible from a public area can be legally recorded, including buildings, vehicles, and people, as long as it is not used for harassment. Warehouse staff and security have no legal authority to stop public filming simply because they dislike it. Police have a duty to inform complainants when no crime has been committed, rather than escalating situations based on personal feelings. By failing to educate the warehouse staff and security, the officers have allowed misinformation to waste police time and resources. If they had simply explained that filming is not a crime, this entire situation could have been avoided.
You do realise, yeah, another thing, yeah, Mr. Potts, yeah?
Yeah.
Mr. Potts. You know if this security guard touches me, it's actually assault.
Okay.
You do know that, yeah? So if this security guard comes and puts his hands onto me, I will be expecting you to arrest him for assault. Okay? Yeah? Especially if he turns up here without the relevant qualifications, yeah? Alright?
The auditor makes it clear to the police that if a security guard touches him, it would be considered assault, and he expects the officer to take action accordingly. This statement isn't just hypothetical, it's a direct challenge to whether the police will enforce the law fairly. He likely says this because in many cases, security staff overstep their authority, attempting to physically remove someone from public or publicly accessible land without legal justification. The auditor knows that if the situation were reversed, if he had touched a security guard, the police would have no hesitation in taking action. So, by making this statement, he is testing their consistency and willingness to uphold the law equally.
You going now?
We're going now.
See you later, sir.
All understand, officer.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, officer. See you later.
And just like that, the police officers drive away, leaving the auditor exactly where he was before they arrived. No removal, no action taken, because in reality, there was never any lawful reason for them to be there in the first place. This was yet another case of police officers showing up to enforce nothing, relying on assumptions instead of the law, and entertaining security complaints without verifying the facts. From the start, the officers failed to do the most basic part of their job: investigate. Instead of determining whether the land was actually private, they blindly accepted security's word, dismissed the auditor's challenges, and even attempted to justify their stance using an irrelevant parking sign. When questioned about their authority to remove him, they shifted the conversation, dodging accountability rather than admitting they had no power to act. If their claims were legitimate, the auditor would have been removed, but instead they left, proving him right. This entire situation highlights a serious issue. officers being sent to situations they are neither trained for nor equipped to handle. Trespassing is a civil matter, yet the police still responded as if a crime had taken place. Instead of educating the warehouse staff and security, they allowed their misunderstandings to escalate into a wasted police response. Worse still, when confronted with their mistakes, they deflected rather than acknowledged them. If anything, this episode shows exactly why better police training is needed. Officers need to understand trespass law, public access rights, and when they do, or don't, have the authority to act. Had these officers simply taken a moment to check the land properly, or even acknowledge that filming in public is perfectly legal, this entire encounter could have been avoided. Instead, their lack of knowledge led to another wasted call-out and another example of the police being used as private security for businesses that don't like being filmed. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me continue with my independent coverage. Also, don't forget to check out AY Audits. His channel is linked in the description. Show him some love. Thanks for watching. This was Rate the Audits, and I'll see you in the next video.